by, look to the left, because we are launching a very rare World War II aircraft built by Curtiss, known as the SB-2C Helldiver, the big-tailed beast. Let's look and listen.
Helldiver was kind of disadvantaged at the start by having to compete with a highly capable Grumman TBS Avenger, but the Helldiver never quite won a similar place in the hearts of the U.S. naval aviators who flew it. It took time to prove itself in action, but eventually became an effective carrier-launched dive and torpedo bomber in the war against the Japanese. But it picked up as the broad work began to be realized. Through the inspired efforts of a handful of naval aviators flying from straight-decked aircraft carriers, two of the most decisive sea battles of the war in the Pacific were won. Unique in the history of naval warfare, neither battle involved the participation of surface combatants. And by the end of the war, the aircraft carrier had replaced the venerable battleship as the dominant weapon system of naval warfare. Ladies and gentlemen, look to your right. You see Ed Besley in the one and only flyable SB-2C Helldiver in the world. And from VFA 106 right here at Naval Air Station Oceana, Lieutenant Jared Strout, it is the Tailhook Legacy Flight. Second World War, a number of the aircraft which flew from carrier decks during that conflict are still airworthy today. It's a testimony to both their durability and survivability, and these vintage warbirds are now owned and operated by private individuals who, through their personal interest in maintaining and flying vintage aircraft, play an active role in keeping the history of naval aviation alive and actively on display.
You can deal. So nice. In your face.
The big-tailed
beast, covered in so many scars underneath.
Owned by the Commemorative Air Force, or owned by the Commemorative Air Force, and flown by Ed Besley, is in the lead, flying at about 3/4 of its top speed, and flying at about 20% of its top speed is the F/A-18 Hornet.
Hey Ricky, have you been back to the Carolina Aviation Museum?
No, not yet.
If you look in front of you right now, when they come by, I'm going to fade this music out so you have an opportunity to hear just this great combination of the radial piston engine, air-cooled, and the two GE F404 turbofan engines on the Hornet. In a matter of a few seconds, you heard the sounds from the 1940s to the sounds of the 21st century. Let's give these guys a nice round of applause. They've got one more pass. They'll come in from behind, they'll go overhead, they'll brake, and they'll roll. So you'll get a chance, if you've got video cameras going, you can take a look at that and watch them as they do their final pass in the Navy Tailhook Legacy Flight.
I don't like the blues. Come on. I'm just here for the popcorn and $5 sodas and funnel cakes.
The big-tailed beast, with its maximum speed of 280 miles per hour, had a wingspan of 50 feet. It was 37 feet long, and it was 17 feet high
from the bottom of the tires to the top of the tail. And it was a monster of an airplane, typically with a crew of 2, and it could carry, as part of its bomb load, it had actually armament load, it had 2 20mm cannons, or 4 50 caliber machine guns in the wing, and 2 303 caliber machine guns in the rear cockpit, and it can carry up to 2,000 pounds of bombs in its internal bay. This is going to be a great opportunity to see something that you seldom see at air shows around the country. Keep your cameras wide angle. Follow the Curtiss Helldiver. Because if the timing's right, we'll have a spectacular view of Naval Air Station Oceana and the SB-2C Helldiver. Hello. Just about to touch down. Cameras on. Ladies and gentlemen, from BFA 106 and the Commemorative Air Force, the Tailhook Legacy Flight. The Hornet, I should say. Later on, we'll see the demonstration of the FA-18 Super Hornet. Tell you about some differences, but look out to the left. Looks like we're going to launch a lot of airplanes. Sponsors, including Shell Lubricants, Travel Host, USAA, Webtex, Max Media, ITW Global, Verizon Wireless, WVEC, National Air Traffic Controllers, ITW Accessories, Entercom, Boeing Company, Wargaming.net, Team Epic, the Virginian Pilot, Tidewater Communications, World Champ Taekwondo, Flagship Newspaper, Sky TV4, Geico, Cycle Gear, United Rentals, Southern New Hampshire University, Freedom Furniture, General Dynamics, First Command, Navy Mutual, BSA Resorts, Filio and Holiday, Hampton Roads Magazine, Federal Express, Navy Federal, Bayside Harley Davidson, USA Discounters, Homeport Hampton Roads, Dominion Resources, AT&T Services, Pratt & Whitney, and Coca-Cola, and of course, our presenting sponsors, Home Depot and Hall Automotive. Shop Hall Automotive for the biggest selection in Hampton Roads. With over 2,000 new and used vehicles, we've got what you're looking for. You can call 800-242-HALL or click hallauto.com. Lieutenant Jared Stroud on the ground,
There's some
putting other airplanes into position. We've got the carrier on board delivery, the COT, the Grumman C2 Greyhound, way down to the left with the members of the British parachute team, the Red Devil.